Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. All those that are able, please stand for the pledge. And John, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Listen, could you do the roll call?
Sure. Chairperson Robert Bishop,
Here.
Dan Esco,
Here.
John Boyle,
Here.
Mark Strout,
Here.
And Joe's coming in a few
Joe
minutes
Beatty,
on remote.
Town Manager Tom Hutchison.
Here.
Okay.
All
Next,
right.
next on the agenda is the minutes of May 28th, 2024 and June 10th, 2024.
Okay, I'm just gonna separate these because we had some members absent from the June 10th meeting.
Okay.
So we'll start with the 28th. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the Tuesday, May 28th, 2024 meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the Monday, June 10th, 2024 meeting minutes as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. A motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay.
I was absent.
Okay. Public address to the board. This is a time when the public may address the board on any item listed on the meeting agenda or any issue or matter of the town. If you intend on addressing the board at this time, we ask you to do the following. Please identify yourself by name, address, or the company/institution you represent. The public address to the board segment will last no longer than 30 minutes. Please make your comments concise and try not to repeat statements made by others. Please address your comments to the board chair. Discussion or debate on any issue may not take place at this time. The chair or the designee may answer questions on procedural matters. Please be cordial and respectful of others. If anyone wishes to be recognized when the board discusses an agenda item, please make that request at this time. The board chair may grant this request, address comments to the board chair, and be concise. We are meeting in person and making this meeting available via Zoom for the convenience of the public. Since we are meeting in person, we will not be responsible for any technical difficulties. So if you'd like to be sure of participating, please attend in person. Is there anyone that wants to speak to any agenda items or anything? Robert? Yeah.
Robert Collins, 695 East Street. I want to commend the board for getting a committee together for the new possible safety complex, police station, fire station agenda. One of the things I'd like to point out is when I don't know if that committee has been already put together or
Yeah, we have a list of names.
a list of names, but I think that some of the people that should be on that possibly should also be the finance committee, at least a representative from the finance committee for this, according to the the paper. I mean, we see that Williamstown's budget for their new safety complex is well over 37 million. They're talking the Lee complex that's being built is at 35 to 40 million. I believe that getting the finance committee involved early in this process and having one of them sitting on the committee is a smart initiative for the town for setting up financial and possibly endeavors of finding where the money's going to come from and how our town can possibly pull this off if the agenda of the committee can point that. So I just strongly suggest that the committee or the chair, the town administrator, at least strongly put one of the financial committee members on this committee.
Okay. There is not one listed on there for the following reason. Once this project's done, it's going to go to the finance committee for analysis.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
And I am assuming there will be several options
Yes.
before anything goes to the people for a vote. So it'll be thoroughly discussed here and by the finance committee.
Right. I just felt that the finance committee, if there was somebody there, at least would have a front end start on what people were thinking and where the agenda was going, would help the finance committee help in the long run possibly find the money or find the grants or alternatives to help support this process, rather than bring them in after, there's been a bunch of decisions made or agenda towards where we're headed. I just felt that it would give the finance committee an opportunity to have a heads up where this is headed.
Of course, all meetings will be open to the public as well.
Yep.
Thank you, Robert. Anyone else? Okay. Appointment ratifications. Mr. Hutchinson.
Yes, pleased to present both Robert Kinzer and Nancy Hopper for the Board of Health for the next year. They're both here. If you'd just like to come forward and say a few words to the select board, but also to the people of Dalton who are watching or may watch on TV, just introduce yourselves, that'd be great.
Come on up.
My name is Robert Kinzer. I've lived in Dalton for about 6 years now, over on Kimberly. Another lawyer I know, Tony Doyle, recommended me getting involved, and I feel it's about time that I get involved in the town I'm going to be staying for a long time in. I'm an attorney in Pittsfield. I used to be a prosecutor. I'm a defense attorney in real estate. I got 2 kids. One went to Wacona, is in college now, and my daughter still goes to Wacona. I went to the Board of Health meeting last week to get a flavor for it, and it seems like it's pretty difficult, but
Well, thank you for
I think
stepping
I'm
up.
up to it.
Thank you, Robert.
All right.
Thank you.
My name is Nancy Hopper. I'm a retired nurse from Greenville School. I worked there for 16 years. I just retired October of last year, and I also worked in the hospital for 40 years. So I feel like I have a lot of experience that can help the Board of Health.
Thank you,
Excellent.
Nancy.
Thank you, Nancy. Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the appointments of Robert Kinzer and Nancy Hopper to the Board of Health effective July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you both.
Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the next 2 candidates are not able to be with us tonight. The first is Lori Martinelli to the Green Committee, and perhaps Alyssa can just say how we heard about this candidate.
David Wazlowski, the chair of the Green Committee, reached out to her. She attended last week's Green Committee meeting and was interested in joining. So that's all I know about her.
I know a little bit about her background.
Okay.
She's a retired lawyer. She moved back in this area from Dalton. She was in the Boston area, so she wants to get involved. So.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the appointment of Lori Martinelli to the Green Committee effective July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2026.
Is there a second? Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And finally, I am not only pleased but very relieved to put the name of Susan Kosiera forward as an assessor. This would be a very part-time position. She's very experienced. We have an assessor who's been working 4 hours a week, who's quite experienced, but is there mainly as a signatory, but also to work on some of the more complex projects that we have. So this appointment would be for that 4-hour position. It would give us 2 signatories, which is what we need to carry on official business, and she can serve as a resource for our current assessor, who's working 20 hours a week. You know, his hours may go up a little bit. And I'm just very grateful that she's agreed to take on. She's currently also, I believe, the principal assessor in Peru. But she can make it down here for one morning a week. And that would be a great help to us.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the appointment of Susan Coziera as part-time assessor, or
Yes.
effective pending pre-employment physical through June 30th of 2025.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Tom, is number 7, do we have anything for that?
We have no vacation payout or carryover requests.
Okay, we'll just move on now. Okay, number 8, departmental transfers. Tom?
We have one departmental transfer. This was, sorry, we were supposed to have this last time, and it just didn't get it voted. This is all, together with the last time, dealing with the snow and ice deficit. This amount requested to be transferred from the highway salaries to the snow and ice salaries would complete the funding for the snow and ice salaries, leaving it with no deficit.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the request to transfer from account number 420 salaries to account number 423 salaries. That reads salaries.
Yes.
Okay. In accordance with Chapter 77 of the Acts of 2006, GL 44 S33B of Massachusetts General Laws, in the amount of $2,691.
Okay. Can I have a second on that, please?
Second.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, number 9, FY 29 appointment ratifications.
As most of us here know, we reappoint all staff and volunteers on an annual basis, except those who have contracts. We have divided the positions into 3, which you should have gotten in your packets last week. The first is the staff appointments, and then appointments that have stipends, and lastly, the volunteer appointments. I believe that's how we voted them last year as a group.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We'll do them one
Everyone
at
had a chance to review the lists?
Yeah, everyone had them.
Yep, one at a time. Okay, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the fiscal year 2025 staff appointments as presented.
Second.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Bob. Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the fiscal year 2025 stipend appointments as presented.
Second.
okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
And finally, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the fiscal year 2025 volunteer appointments as presented.
We'd like to add one to that, John. I do believe
Yep.
it's Jane Mitchell, Jane Michael Hoffman. Was that right?
Bob, I was gonna offer it as an amendment, is to keep it legit. I'd like to offer an amendment to the list and include J. Michael Hoffman, 156 Cleveland Road, as a member of the DRA. Mike's a retired banker, who is a very valuable resource to the DRA, is presently constituted, and he was an associate member of the DIC, and if I understand this correctly, he is approved, his term will run from 7/1/24 to 6/30/27.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded.
Vote on the amendment first.
Yeah, vote on the amendment first. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. Call a vote on the original.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to call a vote on the original?
Oh, yeah, we need to call a vote on the other one.
On the original
Original.
motion? Yeah.
For the volunteers.
Yep. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. Thanks. Sorry.
Okay. Number 10, request for ARPA funds. Mr. Hutchinson.
Yes, well, as you can imagine, we've been trying to find out as much as we can before the meeting tonight. We have got some quotes, and Jeff is here to walk you through what we have discovered. Based on the one set of quotes that we've gotten so far, we'd like to try to get at least one more, because they came in a bit higher than we've been expecting. That said, we do have a piece of business related to ARPA that we can also do at this time as well. There's more money to be rescinded
Okay,
from
yes.
the sewer rehabilitation project.
Great.
The number we gave you earlier had not been formally voted. That was about 200,000, 198. Since that figure came in, we do have a couple of change orders that we'd like to be funded, and that would bring it up to about 230,000. However, that still leaves $150,000 that we are under what we had originally estimated for the project. So that'll be, if it can be a second item under this, is to revote the authorization for sewer rehabilitation to $230,000 from the original 380.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very much related to any request for ARPA funds that we may have. That said, I'd like to turn it over to Jeff to let you know what he's been doing on this and some of his thoughts. Briefly, I think it's going to be a lot more straightforward for us to move forward with the ventilation issue, and we can get that done more quickly, probably. The plumbing issue is going to be somewhat more complex, and we need to do more preliminary fact-finding and engineering on that. So it may take a little bit longer. So that's our current thinking on that, but he can flesh that out.
All right, Jeff, you're in a hot seat.
So I just received the proposals from Hill to put together scope of work and diagrams and everything that we need to do both the venting of the police department and also the plumbing project. Numbers came in a little bit, quite a bit higher than I thought they were going to be. For the venting, they had a proposal of $47,000, and for the plumbing, it came in at $35,000. There's some wiggle room there. If we were to go with both projects, we might be able to sort of combine their efforts on a few things. But that was, obviously quite a bit more than I was thinking it would be. I also,
And that was just for the engineering,
yes, just to engineer the projects.
not for construction.
Come up with scope of work and all the construction documents and everything.
But they would oversee construction as contract administration?
That's all included in there, yeah. Did you guys get the copies? I just got them today. That being said, I did reach out last week, I reached out to the EDM engineering in Pittsfield. I'm hoping to get them in here before the end of the week to have a talk with them. It was the end of the week last week that I was contacting them. The other thing, I did get together with Lawrence United through the recommendation of SK Engineering. They do engineering at Lawrence, but they keep everything in-house. They're not going to just engineer the project for us. they'd be very interested to bid it once the scope of work's defined and everything there, but they were actually pretty helpful in, you know, outlining some of the concerns and things for the project moving forward. So that's kind of where we're at on that. Tom had said the venting project would be easier to get done. I'm concerned that even with our newer sort of plan to run a new lateral out to the street for the plumbing, I think that's still gonna be pretty invasive, and I don't know that the dispatch would be able to function while a project of that size takes place. They're gonna have to basically tear up the entire floor of that dispatch bathroom to connect all of the plumbing that's in that area to connect to a new lateral. And I think that's gonna be a tough ask to.
There's other bathrooms they could use during that, correct?
There is, but it's the proximity issue of them, you know, being, if they're and they get 911 calls and someone's in the bathroom, they need to be close by. So that's, but even besides that, we're gonna be tearing up floors, jackhammering, saw cutting concrete, digging, you know what I mean? It's gonna make for a pretty disruptive work environment for them. So I think that's a little bit more of a difficult issue to get through. The ventilation's, you know, a lot less invasive to the whole works down there. So, but this is something we could, you know, talk to Deanna about, talk to Gabby about, and see.
Yeah, it's
We'll
gonna
have
have
to
to
go
get
with that
done.
moving forward, but I just feel like that's gonna be a tough ask to keep them running through that type of project.
Okay. What about the upstairs area? Has that been tested yet?
Not yet, we were waiting to hear back, from Mike, from DPH about when he could get back
Okay.
to check that out.
That's very important to get done.
Yep.
And I was looking through the reports and stuff, and the areas that are high humidity, why didn't we have a couple dehumidifiers down there to get rid of that?
I've got the ACs going now, the ACs weren't running, yeah, it was right at the time where we were just getting turned on.
All right.
So the ACs are all running throughout the basement, and that helps to take care of the humidity.
Okay. Any other questions?
So, are we gonna be voting on these today, or are we waiting for more,
We gotta wait for the other.
for another engineering quote from the other company?
Yeah.
I'd
Is that what you'd like to do?
I'd like to get one more quote. The EDM, they did say that they were, you know, very interested in it, and in his very next breath, he said that they were very busy, but I'd like to try and get one more quote before we move forward on this. It's a lot of money. It's a lot more than I thought it was gonna be.
Mhm.
So we can, basically estimate that if 47,000 is the engineering cost,
That's just the engineering cost.
the, what's your name will be approximately 10 times that.
I don't think so.
Okay, but as a rough estimate, it's gonna be up there.
For, I got from when Lawrence was there, you know, he said that if they were to come in and a ballpark number from him to just put in ERVs and get fresh air in there, he said that we could be looking in the $60,000 range for just ERVs. He also said we could go, if we want to go a little bit further, which I think we should look at, and wanted to put in actual heating and AC throughout the police department basement through forced hot air ducts and that, you know, the price could jump to about 125, but that in the long run might not be a bad option to look into as well.
There's no heat in the offices down there, right?
150,000.
125, he said.
Yeah.
Ballpark. These were just,
Yeah, there are
Napkin numbers.
also heating issues.
Yeah.
So it would make sense to have a, you know, combined
And that
energy
was-
system.
get us out of the, you know, one more boiler down that we might not be able to have to rely on in the future, you know, if we were to go that route.
Good. Real glad you brought all these points up. It's good to explore all the options.
Yeah.
And I think you're doing a great job, Jeff.
Trying to pull in as much as I can so we can do the right thing.
I guess my other concern would be timing. Our next meeting's 3 weeks
Yeah.
away. I'd like to be able to approve or at least consider and vote on ARPA funds for the engineering of these projects
And get them over.
as soon as numbers are ready and available, rather than waiting 3 weeks, unless you think it'll take that long, in which case it is what it is. I mean, we have proposals here we could move forward on. I know they're maybe.
Well, we could vote the amount of these proposals. I think Jeff is fairly confident that if he gets another quote, it's likely to be less. So that's perfectly reasonable.
Dan, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I hate like hell I have to call them at the meeting.
Let's get the one on the road so they can get going on as soon as possible.
Okay, and,
Should we vote on like a total, if you add 47 and 35 together?
vote on a total number that's authorized up to?
Yeah, so probably,
82?
Yep, 82.
85?
yeah, just to
85?
make it a little, just in case.
Okay,
And Hill did, I talked to him this morning, because I just got these numbers this morning, they said if we do approve and move forward with both of them, then there should be some wiggle room there, you know, to be able to shave a couple
Oh,
bucks.
yeah, we can do 82.
82?
82,
Yeah.
okay. All right. And the current ARPA balance, there's uncommitted of, this is prior to rescinding or revoting of the sewer. Is this correct number, the 162,801?
It's going to be about $32,000 less than that.
Okay,
I believe, because the figure for sewer system rehabilitation on there is probably 198.
I see.
Yeah, and that's what went up.
Okay. All right. Mr. Chairman, I move that we authorize the expenditure of ARPA funds up to $82,000 for design and engineering services for police department sanitary plumbing upgrade and police department ventilation system installation.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Joe.
Just to clarify, the plumbing upgrade will probably also include the second floor plumbing coming down from the accountant and assistant treasurer's office.
Okay.
So it's not
Just police department.
strictly police department, because that feeds into the same system.
Okay. And,
Can I ask you a question?
yeah, go ahead.
Tom, they're offices, but they also have their own bathroom in that area. Is that going to be connected to the work that's going to be done in the bathroom right below the plumbing?
Yes.
Yeah, the
They're
second
all
floor,
connected.
the second floor bathroom in the accountant's office
Yep.
does connect in, somewhere below that floor, in the dispatch bathroom.
So it's possible they could be out of commission for a smaller amount of time, put it that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. While the project is going, yeah.
Thanks.
All set, John?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
All right, so the sewer system rehab from 380 to 230 as an authorization. Let's see, how about a motion on that? Let's see here. Mr. Chairman, I move that we revise the ARPA funds allocation for sewer system rehabilitation from the originally authorized 380,000 to a revised number of 230,000.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Joe?
Leave it.
Fell asleep. Okay. Okay. Tom, anything else on this?
No, that's it.
Jeff, will you let me know when the air quality gets tested upstairs
I will.
as soon as possible?
Yeah.
We've got a asbestos removal quote. Are we acting on this?
Oh, yeah, I just got that as well. Yeah, we got the quote to remove the flooring in the dispatch bathroom. Yeah, there's a possible contamination.
Do we know for sure?
What's that?
Do we know for sure
That,
it's asbestos?
yes, yeah, I had it tested. Yeah, so the actual dispatch office floor tested negative, the dispatch bathroom tested positive. So we do need to move forward with that. We didn't discuss that today, so as far as funding of that. So,
Should we come back to that in 3 weeks, or you want us to act on that
We're
tonight?
not, here's the thing, we're not gonna do any removal of the floors until we're ready to do the plumbing, correct?
the removal of the floors could be a health hazard for mold growth as it sits now.
So, how many square feet are in your bathroom?
It's 12 by 12.
$4,000, huh?
What's that?
12 square feet, $4,000 to remove.
No, 12 by 12.
12 by 12.
144, one room.
Here's the problem, right? If we remove that floor, and we're talking about dispatchers having to use the bathroom and answer 911, all these things are contingent upon one another. So this really needs to be pointed out.
Yeah, I think Jeff has a good plan for getting it all done in a day.
When I talked to the asbestos abatement early, that I said, this has to happen in a single day. We have to have everything out, it has to get tested. Because that's the other issue, is the state has to come and inspect that the removal has been done appropriately before they can take down all the barriers and all that. So we're gonna have to coordinate with them and the inspector and make sure everyone's on the same page and we get this done in a day. Otherwise, dispatch won't be able to use the bathroom. And then my thought was, at least to keep the bathroom running, is to just build a small platform for the toilet to be on for the time being until we can get a new floor installed again, it's gonna take some more.
And if we do it on a Monday, then the dispatch center director has an administration day and can cover for the dispatcher if necessary for a short period of time.
Good.
Where's the tie-ins with the sewer line? That's what I'm wondering, like, if we're gonna rip the floor out, are they, when they go to do the sewer lines and stuff, are they gonna have to go back in?
Yeah.
Right.
Is there like tile that's got this asbestos in it?
Yeah, it's a VC.
Okay, what's underneath the tile? What kind of?
There's a plywood subfloor with 4x4 sleepers, so there's about a 4-inch gap, and then there's concrete subfloor of that.
Concrete subfloor. What condition is the subfloor, the wooden floor, the plywood or whatever it is?
The plywood's all gonna come out. That whole, that's all gonna come out, because the mastic.
Okay, at the same time you're taking out the asbestos tile, that's coming out too.
Yep. The asbestos tile and the mastic have the tested positive.
So then you gotta
The whole flooring.
Build a little platform until,
Build a platform for the toilet to be
Yep.
on, and then work on getting a new floor built, and you can just throw down a sheet of linoleum and just to keep it running. But it's gonna be, there's a lot of stuff to kind of take into account. So.
Well, in terms of the mechanics of how it's done, that's not necessarily what we need to decide tonight. It's more about deciding if we're gonna fund this or not. I think at this level right here.
we're just funding it, I mean, they haven't done the work yet.
Yeah.
We can fund it, but I think we need to make it
Well,
clear to
yeah.
the town manager and to Jeff and to the police chiefs that they all need to work together to coordinate to have this, have it
Absolutely.
in the best sequences.
To minimize disruption,
Right.
coordinate with other
Right.
plans, yes.
That's it.
I met with, when the asbestos abatement were there to look at it, to give us the estimate, Gabby and Chief were both there, and we kind of had a game plan. to move forward, so
Dan-
they've been made aware of everything.
I would like weekly updates from the town manager on the progress we're making with this. I would like weekly updates from you by email
Yeah.
on the progress we're making on this.
Sure.
Yeah, if there's
Dan,
any
you're
snags.
suggesting that we
That said-
authorize,
I'm about to be on vacation next week, so, but Jeff can send that
I
out.
can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if there's any snags or where we need to get together, I need to know so we can set a meeting, okay?
Dan, are you suggesting that we authorize this amount?
The expenditure, yes.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been expended yet. Up to that amount for this particular task to be performed?
That's correct.
Okay. I agree.
Okay.
It won't be spent, it won't be released, the funds will not be released until the job is done.
Right.
Okay, all right.
This is gonna come from the ARPA account as well? Okay.
Yeah, the schedule of payments is included in the proposal.
Schedule of payments.
To put that into a
And-
motion.
And not all of it is
I will.
Yeah.
immediate. You know, some of it has to do with overseeing the construction, for example. So that's all
right.
included. This is an all-inclusive engineering proposal, which is good.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we authorize $4,925 of ARPA funds for asbestos removal services per the contract dated June 21st, 2024 from Barilli Environmental.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further comments?
Yeah. Right below this is another $500 to be determined, estimated at $500. I think the total should
I
be
added that.
authorized $5,000. I think you just do a flat $5,000.
Okay.
I'll make an amendment to make the total $5,000.
I'll second the amendment.
Okay. We'll vote on the amendment first.
Okay?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now, back to the
Sorry,
original.
my comment was actually for the plumbing and HVAC estimates, the engineering for that, not for the asbestos removal.
Okay.
We still get it right,
On the original motion, yeah.
$5,000, right?
We just voted on the 5, now we vote on the original.
We good?
No, I thought we just voted on the amendment, we didn't vote on the total.
Yes.
Yes.
We did?
Okay. Anything else?
All right, that's it for those, I think.
Okay, number 11. Mr. Hutchinson.
Yes, this has two parts to it. Well, three, actually. We're proposing a name of the Public Safety Facility Advisory Committee. We think that is the broadest possible name. It may narrow over time, but that's, we think, accounts for all possible permutations. We have, perhaps we could cover first the charge of the committee. Bob and I worked on a draft charge, which again, we tried to make as comprehensive as possible. And I don't know if you all have time to read it. I can read it if you
Yeah,
like.
go ahead, read it for the record, Tom.
Again, a draft, Public Safety Facility Advisory Committee charge. The Public Safety Facility Advisory Committee shall examine all issues regarding the proposal for a new police station, including the potential for a new building to house a fire station and the emergency management director as well. Issues include, but may not be limited to, whether and where to lease, buy, or take property, or to use existing town property, including whether to build a new building, and to issue a preliminary report and recommendation on these questions to the Select Board by December 30th, 2025. If and when town meeting approves the proposal, and together with the town manager, the committee will work with an owner's project manager to design and implement any renovation or new building.
Is everybody satisfied with that?
Sounds like you nailed it, Tom.
Motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the Public Safety Facility Advisory Committee charge as proposed from the town manager.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
First sentence, including the potential for a new building to house a fire station and the emergency management director as well. Do you want to instead broaden that language, to say to encompass a potential public safety facility? Or is that
I
not
think-
necessary?
I wanted to list the other potential, occupants.
Yes.
I don't think we need to say as well, though, because we already said including. So I
Okay.
can take out as well.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. So strike as well. Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right, thank you.
And I will note that Joe Diver had to leave the meeting because of a poor Zoom connection.
Okay.
Good.
For the membership proposal, we received a total of 10 applicants. And Bob and I looked at the forms that they submitted. And found a number with construction experience and contracting experience, which we felt was the most important factor for a building construction project. It's already been mentioned that obviously the finances of the project are going to be front and center at some point. My feeling, and I think something that we agreed on, was that the charge of the committee to look at all of these different options was not dependent on how much they cost. That will be a decision that the finance committee will make a recommendation on, the select board will make an overall recommendation, and that'll go to town meeting for any decision. So my intent, at least, is to have a report that outlines all of the options very objectively, and gives that over then for both financial and policy review.
Tom, you said it would go to the town meeting for approval.
Well, any funding,
Well,
yeah. Or-
I think I noted in the past that bonded indebtedness had gone to the voters in the form of a referendum, i.e. our last bond issue with the school. And in the past, I remember various funding for projects being at a referendum basis at the annual, in conjunction with the annual town meeting.
Yes, there would first be town meeting approval, and then it would be followed by a ballot vote.
So if the town meeting approves it, the ballot don't, what happens then?
Then the project's not approved. The town meeting vote is typically 2/3, the ballot vote is typically a majority vote. If it's a usual borrow.
Not 2/3?
No,
And your
at
bond
town
meeting-
meeting, it's a 2/3 vote, and then it's a majority vote at the ballot box. That's my understanding.
Okay.
And
I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but this is why, as Bob said, important to discuss these questions now. Say we have to borrow X amount of dollars, and that X amount of dollars puts us over the levy limit.
I certainly wouldn't put that forward. That would
Well,
not be illegal.
you don't know what this committee's gonna do.
Unless, no, if I were to put that forward, I'm sorry, I'd put it forward as an override.
Right, that's what I'm
Yeah.
getting at.
Oh, I'm
It
sorry,
may
yes.
require an override in the process.
Yeah, if it were,
Is
if
that
it were
two-thirds?
beyond our, well, there's another scenario where it could be beyond our borrowing capacity, beyond our debt authority. So we couldn't put that forward. But all of those questions are, they're extremely hypothetical at this point, because right now we don't know what those numbers are, and we don't know what they would be when it would be scheduled to be built, and we don't know what our level of debt would be at that point, because we don't know how much the school borrowing has come down. So we have to take all of those into consideration at the time when we're presenting something for a vote.
I think Mr. Collins realized this, and what he was hitting at, it would be good to have a financial person on board in this committee at the onset to get a handle on it as we go forward.
Again, I don't think we're gonna have anything to get a handle on until we know what the proposals look like.
Yeah.
And that will determine, we'll still have a variety of options, we may have a variety of options to choose from. Could be an override, could be a debt exclusion, could be,
Refresh my memory, it's been a long time.
and we could get grants depending on the type of facility we decide on. So it's a very complex project with a lot of moving parts.
Refresh my memory, if you ask for an override, is it a 2/3 or a simple majority referendum?
Well, it's at least a 2/3 at town meeting. I don't know what the vote is at the ballot box.
And as far as pursuing grants that will enable us to go forward with this project, whatever it may be, do we think we should get the town planner engaged in looking around for grants?
Again, it depends on the kind of facility that we think we want. Once we have a general direction, for instance, if it's a combined public safety facility, the grants available will be different from a police station and if we involve the emergency management director, which is probably a good idea, that might also allow more grant money to be obtained.
Speaking of the emergency management director having an office and a new fire department, is it mentioned anywhere about what happens to the ambulance service, where that might be housed?
In my thinking, because the ambulance service currently falls under the direction of the fire chief, I am including that in when I refer to fire
Okay,
as a town function.
okay, thank you. This is all valuable information to everybody that's listening, I'm certain. A lot to think about, and we've not even started yet. All right, thanks, Tom.
Okay. Let's do the list.
Okay.
That said, the chair and I did meet, and we have brought for your consideration, well, first you have everybody's committee interest form there in front of you in your packets. We are proposing the following in alphabetical order for committee members: Don Davis, Ryan Flanders, Dave Martindale, Tony Pagliarulo, and Craig Wilbur.
Motion?
I'll also note that we have a number of
Yes.
people we believe ought to be formally associated with the committee, even though they would not have a vote on the committee. These would be members who would be members as a function of the office that they hold. And I have an addition to what you might have seen before. One of those ex officio members would be John Boyle, really representing the select board, the appointing authority here. Jeff Birch, Superintendent of Buildings and Grounds. Chief Strout, the Director of Communications, Gabrielle Taglieri, and myself. So we would be present but not voting members of the committee.
So are you recommending that we approve the suggested members of the committee per se?
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
I move that we approve them.
That's the
Is there a
recommendation.
second?
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
So to clarify, this is for the voting members,
Yep.
the 5.
Right.
Well, if there's more room on the ex officio list, if you will, then I think I could support this list here. I was just thinking that it would probably be beneficial to have a member of the finance committee at least present. Possibly the fire chief if they're interested.
That,
I'm not sure.
yeah, I would
No.
I think there's a lot of ex officios that at one time or another would be at meetings with their expertise.
Yeah.
Town planner.
and again, I think we would invite the fire chief, because I'm not sure that it's in the select board's power to appoint someone
No.
who's not part of the town government per se. And we could appoint the forest warden at that. So we can certainly invite the fire chief and, obviously.
Yeah.
That's not a question.
I understand we're voting on essentially 5 members of 10 who submitted committee interest forms. So as long as there's some capacity on this non-voting list, then
And I think there's.
I'm fine supporting.
I think
the
the
5
town
presented.
manager would say the same. There's a lot of flexibility in the secondary list.
Mhm.
I mean,
Sounds
push
good.
out off and on, but we have to ratify the primary list.
Okay.
So the main distinction of the ex officio members is that they're actually come with an official seat at the table, as it were, the right to be recognized and to speak and that sort of thing, as opposed to members of the public who can attend any of the meetings, but if there's a necessity to discuss something more closely, that could be limited to the people officially on the committee.
Mhm.
Okay, we good?
Okay.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Melissa, would you get this out to these and maybe what their schedule is so they can get?
I'd also
Sure, yeah.
like to thank the other 5 community members who submitted committee interest forms. I think for the record, it's worth mentioning these folks who were willing to step up. William Brown, Lynn Clements, Bill Drosine, Bill Drury, and Tom Irwin. Oh, thank you.
Okay, no, thank you. Okay,
So we don't really need to decide on the ex officio at this time?
No.
Okay. All right.
town manager update.
Sure. There's plenty.
I think it's, informal and very flexible.
Thank you. Construction work on the sewer system rehabilitation project has been completed, aside from final inspections. We should have the final invoices in over the next few weeks so we can close out the project. The city of North Adams has decided to pare down its veteran services and not to continue offering Dalton some of its veterans agents time. If they kept Dalton and other towns that joined after the original district was formed, They would be required to expand their staffing to meet the necessary level calculated by the state based on the total population served. They have decided instead on level staffing. So I've approached Pittsfield, which had been willing some time ago to provide services in the event North Adams made this decision. The contract for the new town website was signed a couple of weeks ago, and a very experienced town volunteer and I are working with Town Web Inc., the winner of the bid, to review their proposals, including a mock-up based on our initial input. Now, regarding the Orchard Road and Housatonic Street easements, we need easement plans rather than construction plans showing the easements for the legal paperwork to be proper, and those are scheduled to be completed this week. I've moved forward with the transfer station redesign engineering. This is really an extension of the work we had done a couple of years ago when we were looking at general options, and so I expect it to be relatively straightforward. It is conceivable there will be additional transfers between departments necessary before the July 18th meeting. As you saw, we had just the one today that was just a mistake left over from last time. I don't anticipate we will, but it is conceivable. If so, it would be necessary to have a very brief meeting sometime before July 15th to approve the transfers.
Okay.
This would be before the next regularly scheduled select board meeting. There was a second meeting of the group looking at policies and procedures for the condemnation fund. We continue to make substantial progress, though we have also identified some more issues to consider. We look forward to submitting a program proposal in the next few months. And finally, besides the new but very part-time assessor appointed this evening, I will be talking with a local lawyer looking for part-time work who has experience with the appellate tax board and abatement appeals, and who may be interested in becoming a part-time assessor as well. That would give us our full complement of 3 and provide more open hours than we're currently able to offer. I'll be speaking with him at 3 tomorrow.
Okay, good luck.
Are any of the members have a desire to increase their hours? You said
Yes.
there was one that was only working 4 hours a week.
Yes, we are now limited by the FY25 budget.
Okay.
So we'll be working within that, but I'm pretty confident that we can do what we need to do.
Great.
There may be some adjustment necessary for FY26, but I plan to work within the FY20 budget for now, F25 budget for the assessors for now.
One other question. You get a dollar figure for that easement on East Housatonic Street?
Yes, East Housatonic was $13,000.
13?
Yes. The original estimate was 15.
Yeah.
I had 4 easements on Housatonic Street, East Housatonic Street. When they did the construction, you know what I got? $400.
Tom, what's the status of Orchard Road?
The status?
Yes.
Oh, that, we're waiting for the easement plans so that we can execute the easements so that the project can go out to bid. That's where we are. It will not start this construction season, I believe. I believe we're past the time when we can get it out to bid and get people who can start work in the fall. It's not inconceivable, but that's, the easements have been have been holding it up. Once we get those executed, we can put it out to bid. There are a lot of steps to the easement as well, so I've cut them down as much as I can.
Any other questions for Tom?
Yeah, just note that the next meeting is in fact Monday, July 15th, not the 18th. So did you mean a meeting prior to July 15th?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because, yeah, sorry.
Prior to June 30th?
No,
End of the fiscal year?
no, no, we would probably be the 8th.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
You all set, Tom?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, future agenda? Hearing none? Okay. Items not anticipated 48 hours before the meeting?
Not anymore.
Okay. Remarks of the select board? Hearing none? Okay, let's leave this to our announcements. If we want to know more about what happens in Dalton, sign up for a monthly newsletter. Please visit the town website for more information. The annual card permit, bag stickers, and recycle-only card permits are available for purchase at the transfer station and on the town's website. There are numerous committees and boards with vacancies. Please see the town website for more information or reach out to the town manager's office. The Dalton Housing Authority has one vacancy on their board. They must be a Dalton resident. Please call Sue Gregory at 684-2493 for more information. Is your electric bill too high? The town has contracted with Colonial Power to provide electrical plan for town residents that takes advantage of joining with other communities to have a larger customer base for negotiation, which has resulted in prices lower than current Eversource. Please note, this may not always be the case. For more details to opt in or out, visit the town website or call the town manager's office. The town of Dalton currently has 3 job opportunities: part-time COA van driver, DPW equipment operator, and principal assessor. Visit the town website or contact the town manager's office at 413-684-6111, extension 202 for more information. The next meeting in the regular select board meeting is to take place on July 15th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Senior Center with a remote participation. With that, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Very good.
Good night, Dalton.